Hello, David here with a quick review of expansion techniques. Expansion is just another word for multiplication. So we take expressions and we expand them by multiplying terms. Our first one is the distributive rule. Sometimes called the distributive law. Written with just letters, this one is fairly straightforward. It's A times B plus C. That's going to give us, we're going to distribute A to the B and A to the C by multiplication, and we get AB plus AC. So that's the pattern, that's the rule. You could put that on your cheat sheet for tests. Let's do an example. How about 2 times 3x minus 1? So here's my A, my B, and my C. So now I'm going to multiply out 2 times 3x, gives me 6x. 2 times negative 1 gives me minus 2. And that's my solution. So I'm going to put up an example now and give you a chance to do it. So what we'll do is you'll pause the video, you'll try to work it, and come back to the video and see how you did. So let's do minus 3 times x plus 9. Okay? Give that a shot. Pause the video. Okay? So let's see how you did. I'm going to distribute my minus 3 on both these terms. Minus 3 times x is going to give me minus 3x. Minus 3 times 9 gives me minus 27. Okay? So that's the distributive law. Some of the problems will get a little bit more complicated, but essentially they all work this way. Next rule, the product law. This is also called FOIL. FOIL is a nice little acronym that helps you remember what to do. FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. So written with letters, the pattern is this. A plus B times C plus D. And we're just going to multiply each letter in here times each letter in there using FOIL. So first, the first two terms, the A and the C, this is going to give me AC. Now the outside terms, A times D. Inside terms, that's B times C. And last is BD. So that's the rule written with just letters. Let's do an example. Okay, so I do my first, that's x times x, which gives me x squared. I do my outside, minus 9x, minus 9 times x. My inside, 6 times x, which is plus 6x. And my last, which is 6 times negative 9, is minus 54. Now I have a final step because these are like terms, I can combine them. So this becomes x squared minus 3x minus 54. Okay? So I'm going to give you an example to try. Let's do x minus 3 times x plus 5. Pause the video, work that problem, see how you go. Okay, we're back. I'm going to move this up over here, give us a little bit more room. I'm going to do my first, x times x, x squared. My outside, x times positive 5, is 5x. My inside gives me minus 3x. And my last gets me minus 15. Combining my middle terms, 5x minus 3x leaves me 2x. So I have x squared plus 2x minus 15. Bam! Okay, 2 more rules, or 2 more procedures, processes, ways to expand. These are more complicated. Let's do the difference of squares. a plus b times a minus b. Okay? So let's just FOIL this and see what we get. We get an a times a is a squared. We get an a times minus b, so that's negative ab. Then we get an a times b here. I'm going to write them in the same order because that will be helpful later. No negatives, so this one is a plus ab. And then I have minus or plus b times minus b. That's going to get us minus b squared. So the result of FOILing that pattern gives us this. Now if you remember when we did the FOIL just a minute ago, the two middle terms get combined. But notice, these middle terms are going to cancel each other out. That's a negative ab and that's a positive ab. So my result is just going to be a squared minus b squared. So this is the cool thing about this pattern. If you have one thing plus another times that same one thing minus another, you can go right to here. Bam. You don't have to do the FOIL step. And I urge you, when you get to these problems, don't FOIL them, just go straight to that. Okay? Let's do an example. How about x plus 5 times x minus 5? Fits the pattern. Two things, they're the same. Once it's plus and once it's minus. So I'm going to skip the FOIL step. I'm just going to go straight to that. So it's a squared, which is x squared, minus b squared. B is 5, so squared is 25. Bam! Really fast. Okay? I'm going to give you one to try. Let's try x plus 6 times x minus 6. Pause the video, give it a shot. Great. Okay, so if you got x squared minus 36, you got it. So let's add a layer of complexity to that as well. So let's try one that's like this. 2x minus 7 times 2x plus 7. So it's the same pattern, even though this term is now more complicated. I have a coefficient in front of the x. It's still one thing minus another, one thing plus another. So to use this pattern, what I'm going to do is I'm going to square the first thing. 2x times 2x gets me 4x squared. I multiply the numbers by the numbers and the x's by the x's. And then this is going to be 7 times 7, but negative, so minus 49. Okay, try this one. Pause the video. Okay, let's see how you did. 3x times 3x is 9x squared, plus 2 times negative 2 is minus 4. Bam! So you can really see how understanding this pattern eliminates the need to do this FOIL step and lets you go straight from here to here. These problems were actually pretty quick and easy using that. Okay? One last pattern. Okay, this one is called perfect squares. With letters, this one looks like this. A plus b squared. Okay? So now instead of a plus b times a minus b, it's just a plus b times a plus b. Okay? That's what this means. It's just this times itself. That's what the squared means. So let's FOIL this and see what we wind up with. First, a times a is a squared. Outside is plus ab. Inside is b times a, but I'm going to write that ab. We can do that with multiplication. And then finally, b times b is b squared. So since I FOILed, I have a middle step. Notice I have two ab's here. So now I can go a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Bam! So once you understand this pattern, you can skip these two steps and go right to there. Okay? We just showed you how the pattern works. Now let's do an example. Let's try x plus 6 squared. So I'm going to use this pattern. So the a is the x, the b is the 6. A squared with the x is just going to be x squared plus, now I have 2 times x times 6. So I'm going to write that out. 2 times x times 6. A lot of you would just be able to go right to 12x. That's fine if you leave that step out. And then my last one here is the b squared, so that's plus 36. Combine this up, or simplify it, x squared plus 12x plus 36. Bam. So if you didn't need to write this intermediate step, you could go right from here to here. Saves a bunch of math. Okay? Let me give you one to try. Let's do x minus 4 squared. Pause the video, give it a shot. Okay, let's see how you did. I'm going to do my x squared plus 2 times x times negative 4. This is one term right there. And then minus 4 squared, which would be, or 4, this would be squared, so you'd still get 16 out there. Okay? Now we'll combine the middle step. X squared minus 8x plus 16. Okay? One more more advanced example. Let's try 4x plus 7 squared. Pause the video, give it a try. Sweet, let's see how you did. 4x, when I square that, I'm going to get 16x squared plus 2 times 4x times 7. 2 times 4x times 7 plus 7 squared, which is 49. Okay? And then let's clean up that step. 16x squared plus 2 times 4 is 8, times 7 is 56. So that's 56x plus 49. Okay? So that's the end of this lesson. If you feel like replaying it, do that. If you want to get started on the homework before class, you can do that. Thanks for watching.